Hello, my name is Sam Valladares, and this is blog number 2. Today I will be talking to you about the American independence. First of all, we're going to start with sedentary neglect. This was an unofficial British policy of avoiding strict enforcement of trade laws. This eventually led colonists to governing no one else but themselves. Next to this was the French and Indian War, which is also known as the 7 Years' War. In this war, the French and Indians battle against the colonists. At the end, the British are the ones that win. This leads to the French being removed from North America and British in debt. Next comes the Proclamation of 1763. What this is a proclamation declared by King George III. He declared that all the land west of the Appalachian Mountains to be property for American Indians only. This also meant that colonists were not allowed to settle there. King George did this in hope of bringing peace to the western frontier of the American colonies. Next, we have the Stamp Act of 1765. This tax was passed by the British Parliament requiring American colonists to pay on items such as legal documents and newspaper. What is next is the Townshend Act of 1765. What the Townshend Act is the taxes placed on things like paint, tea, paper, glass, and lead. These taxes were later repealed except the tax of tea due to Americans protesting against these taxes. Next is the Boston Massacre. This happened in 1770. This was when a group of men were confronting British soldiers. The British soldiers soon fired into the crowd, which ended up killing and hurting many people. In the Boston Tea Party, which happened in the year 1770, the event was when many members of the Sons of Liberty dressed as Indians and went aboard British ships to throw the tea cargo overboard, which all represented the protest of tea tax. The Olive Branch Petition was a letter that was sent to King George III from the colonists asking for more freedom to avoid war. Parliament was Great Britain's lawmaking assembly. Next was the Lexington and Concord, which was where many colonists volunteered fought for fighting British troops. The war started when one side fired the first shot. No one really knows who fired the first shot, but this is known as the shot heard around the world. This is due to the whole world hearing about this event. In conclusion, on October 1781, the war finally ended when General Cornwallis forced to surrender in Yorktown, Virginia. 2 years later, the Treaty of Paris made it definite that America was finally independent. This concludes my blog on American independence.